Okay, so welcome, and this is our sixth session, and we just shared the screen, and let me share this. So we did. We did 4, 5, 6 session. This is the tutorial ChatGPT and Midjourney tools. So one of the things I want to do is start with explaining how ChatGPT works. Right? We saw what it gives input output, but how it works just to understand. So I'll just read aloud and just explain if needed. It's a generative pre-trained transformer model. So transformer is a particular way of transforming one input to output using certain attention processing. So you don't have to deal with a huge amount of data. So it digests, but this model digests vast amounts of natural language data using unsupervised learning technique. Means nobody has to tell what it means. Just say, this is the data. This is how sentences have been constructed. This is how images have been constructed. You just make sense of it. So I'm not supervising how you learn. Basically, you learn on your own. That's what the idea of unsupervised learning. During this process, the model extracts patterns and relationship from the data. So it says after key comes steps, after GPT comes operation, after after brief might come brief title, brief overviews. So it knows what might come after that, or the natural language, so natural people, natural trees, natural this. So it has it builds certain probability patterns of what might come after a particular word. So that is the nature. So this is called input encoding. And so that's the pre-training. So it is trained on, let's say, all of Wikipedia, all of the websites, all of the Twitter feed, and everything that it can be fed into it. So it has read everything, and it has been digested into relationships among certain elements, which are called parameters. And we saw in the morning, it's as many as probably trillions of parameters out there, which help encode the relationship between words. Now, when you input encoding, when you put a question, it converts into sequence of numerical values, right? The word this and word this, word this, word. It may remove certain words which are filler words, off and the, which may not mean much, but then it will begin to see, what are you asking? Let's say you ask, give me a tutorial of, let's say if you type this, brief tutorial of key steps in GPT operation, it might remove the word off, it might remove in, but it'll say brief overview is one thing, key steps is one thing, GPT is one thing, and GPT operation is another thing. So it might just create some tokens as, okay, you're giving me something, a brief overview with the key steps in GPT operation. So that it sort of digests it and says, remove the filler words in a sequence of values. We call it numerical, that convert into numbers. Ultimately, computers work on numbers 0, 1. And that, so in the way that this model, which is the ChatGPT model, can understand and process. Now what it does is it takes contextual representative tokens, all the tokens. So every word or every letter or every phrase, everything is called a token. Token means a certain thing that's transactional, right? So it generates contextual representation, means what has come before and what is coming. So every word like GPT here in the sentence will be seen that in the context of the previous words and what comes in the future. Take into account the surrounding context, so the model can interpret the tokens more accurately. In other words, when I'm saying something, you have to interpret it in terms of what you know in the past and what you think is going to come in the future. So that is representing this thing input. Whatever you write, it has seen what have you done before. You've been asking questions about GPT. You've been asking questions about stock market. So it'll say, okay, well, you're talking about that context. So it'll relate it to that. Having done that, then it does what's called language modeling. So it's the art of generating, and I highlighted this, which is to generate probability distribution, means probability of possible words in the response. So let's say my first word is stock market. So I'm just starting with stock market. After stock market is going well. So it just build word by word. It's always having probability for each word. What should be the next word? It doesn't know what the next word should be. But then all words in the response to probability predict the most likely word that follow the output in a way that it will address the input encoded. Then it does little bit randomness. So it's sort of it's probabilistic anyway, 50% chance of this word following, 40 this, 20, 80% this, whatever is the highest probability will go with this. But it'll also generate some randomness. So just that we talked earlier about creativity. So it's creativity by just randomness. So 2 times you ask them the same question, it's not going to give exactly the same answer, but it'll be more or less the same content, be similar. So once it's generated a sample output, then it'll output and code, just like it took the input and created it into tokens. It'll take the tokens and generate back into what we call natural language text, put in the filler, off, then, and all the stuff. So key thing is certain understanding of the context or the knowledge that you are looking for, do the language modeling, get the answer, and then present it in a way that you human beings can read. So that is basically the total idea of this language modeling. GPT works like that. Does it make sense? It's called code it, process it, decode it, and present it. Whatever you say, I'm going to code it in a way that I understand. I'm ChatGPT. You send in natural language. I'm giving you free reign. I'm picking the things. I don't like the off and the words. I know that they're not giving me anything. I'm just picking the key context, and then I put in what all you've been telling me last one day, one session, whatever. Then I encode it. Then sort of process it with my logic of 170 million parameters or billion parameters or trillion parameters, or 10, how big I am. And then I produce an output. And then I say, okay, I'm going to structure it like that. So you want this format, you want with academic references, you want a tabular format, you want 4 columns, you want bolded, whatever you want. Whatever you said, it'll just have some way of doing. And then it presents in a certain way. So it's that very simple. It's in some level input, process, output. The input is encoded, processed, coded back, decoded back into your format and presented. So I'll open this. I just opened this window on ChatGPT, and I will show you how this works. Okay, here it is.
May I ask a question? Or do you want us to wait?
No. The questions are of the essence right now because I don't want to necessarily share. Let me just first close this window so I can just open a new window, and I'll open in front of you. Yeah, please ask the question.
So what I discovered in doing it was that I have to specify like APA style, references with APA style. And if you don't say that, it doesn't give you that. But if you specify it, it does.
You give it any which way, it'll give us any way out. Let's get to that in a moment, the particular format,
Okay.
etc. Let's just try to get basics out.
Okay.
There's a lot of decoration and sort of, the toppings and all the stuff, APA style, this type. Let's just first get, I want something, why it gets answered. And then we can do certain other things. So I would just, styling issues, let's maybe talk in a moment. Any other questions? Okay, so let's do the basics. Okay, then so what happens is, let's say this is the browser. There's the browser window. Here it is. And on this browser, I have already an account. So I'll say chat.openai.com, right? And because I already have an account, it opens a window for me. And there's a process. You will go chat.openai.com and say login and all that stuff. So login, all that. So, but eventually, when you log in, it'll give you a window like this. This is the basic format. Then it's you can use the old one format, ChatGPT found old one fast, but there's a new one which is more creative. Let's say it's got more parameters. So whichever you want to use, let's say, let's do the fast one for now. It's called ChatGPT Plus. It's a paid license, $20 a month, not a whole lot compared to what we pay for any of the streaming modes, but it's extraordinarily helpful. So if you use the unpaid one, then it'll have limits and sometimes gets busy, etc. I don't want to deal with it. I find it very useful, so I want to do that. So let's say, so now you ask me a question. Let's say, maybe Catherine, I can even ask that question, but let's say basic question. What is the basic question that you want to ask? That is what we want to deal with, some basic questions. So ask a question. What do you want ChatGPT to tell you, ask you? Tell me. Speak aloud. I mean, that's it. It's a tutorial, so it'll be interactive. Ask a question, whatever is the query.
Would it make any sense to ask that same one that got the fictional quotes before, or you don't want to go there?
Forget the was. Let's start as if you didn't know anything about ChatGPT.
Okay, we can ask what's the purpose of the purpose of education. We can
ask. So that's
what,
right? It's a general thing, right? What is the purpose of education? Not even forget about AI, right? Let's ask a basic question, like an undergrad student might say, what is the purpose of education? Okay. Now, right here, I will say, if I just said that, it'll answer. But if I want to, do you want a long answer, short answer?
Short answer within 1 or 2 sentences.
Okay. In 2 sentences, right? Because it can give you an extremely long one. And then, okay, let's say. Okay. The purpose of education equipped individuals with the knowledge, skills, and critical thinking, blah, 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 succeed in life, contributing ever-changing world. It aims to foster personal growth, harmony. This is this. So one is to equip with tools for the future society, and then there's one inner kind of thing. It's you can see two sentence structure very much. Okay. So that's what it is. Or you just write this. If I say I want more, right? That's not enough. If I just say continue, it knows that I'm not satisfied with this. I'll say continue. It just presumes that educationally, right? It'll say, but it's still giving in short. It can go on forever, but it's saying additionally, education serves the means to do this, and so on and so forth. It's given one more sentence. But short bits more. Okay, let me ask another question, right? Just building on your question, what is the role of education in a 400-word essay, right? We don't have to read it. I just wanted to share that, show you that it can create this whole thing, create a whole body that sort of, this is the introduction, there's the whole body, that it helps with personal development, social cohesion, economic development, responsibility, inequality, and inclusion. So it's given an essay. Okay, I asked, what is the education? One answer. I said, write an essay, another answer. Now I say, write the above with academic reference. How about that? Is that okay?
Yes.
This is weird. No. Oh, rewrite the essay. So you're basically talking to it as if you're talking to an assistant, and rewrite the essay above with academic references. No. Also, it's not giving reference one, so it's sometime. Okay, because the references were given up there. This is doing weird. Okay. Anyway, so
I think if you just add, what worked for me was just to ask it and then say use APA style.
Okay, using APA style. How about that? Right now we can
rewrite the above essay or something.
Sorry, confusion.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything.
It's confused.
It's confused. Right?
It's gotten confused.
That's it. Okay, so this is confused right now. We already gotten it because the reference one. I say, let's ask something beyond this, okay? Because we don't want to waste time on this. Let's worry about.
How about asking it about management, spirituality, literature, some kind of question about our field? You know, could you give an overview of the critical literature in management, spirituality using APA style?
Summarize management, spirituality, and religion, academic, literature. Also, we have to move this guy down here. Literature with the references in 500 words and APA style. Okay, let's see what comes, right? It'll give what it'll give. Now you see all these references are coming here. 10 references are given. Okay, please note our placeholders and you can. So now they added this. Please check with Google, their Scholar and lots. Earlier they would just say this is what it is. Either way, remember we've been talking all day long that we need to verify. Don't take exactly. Best is take. What I do is if I like this thing, I just dump the whole thing on Google Scholar, and then it'll show me the whole thing. Then I get formal citation from there. So verify. Some I know. For example, I would know whatever something like. Yeah, this one I know, right? 2003 is there. Kavanaugh, whatever. I don't know this. So I, again, pick and choose. The best part of this in the academic references, it'll go far wide beyond, the domain that I will look at. These some may not be coming from MSR as we know it. There's maybe coming from outside our known people. What is this? We may not know. Yes, some Indian. Is Suprit Sarkar? Who is the Sarkar? My impact. General management development. So these are, it'll pick up all the general management development and some other journals, etc. Journal of Business Ethics. So it'll do that. Okay. What else? So this is the basic, right? Give it a question, and it'll give a response. Now let me ask a very simple question. Okay, compare spirituality and religion in a tabular format with academic references. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Compare spirituality and religion in a tabular format. And forget for now references, right? We can add references. Is that okay? We'll just skip that. The idea is to just say, okay, what does it do? Let's see. Okay. Look at it. Now it's already picked up certain dimensions: definition, focus, beliefs, practices, formal structure, religious structures, dogma, general comparison, moral values. Let's see, what does it say? Not tied to text, it's tied to text. Membership not dependent on formal affiliation. Defines formal affiliation, formal structure lacks this. Practices are more meditation, mindfulness. He has more worship here. So this is its way of summarizing. Yeah. So you were asking Jerry now. So this is tabular thing, right? And you can ask tabular with references. So it's the same thing. You can just piece mean that. Now you were asking, what's the difference in consciousness and soul? Was that the question? I'll just ask one more, right? What is the difference? Or let's say compare soul and consciousness. How about that?
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Compare soul and consciousness. It remembers it was a tabular format because I want to tabular format. It's a context. Remember, I asked a all comparison I'm saying here. So I asked for tabular. So it's just thinking, oh, I probably want tabular. If I say don't do a tabular, then of course, if you're comparing, it makes sense, right? Knows that. And so dimensions a little bit different, right? There's a definition of philosophical nature, etc. You can see those things. Yeah. So fairly simple comparative table. Why shouldn't a graduate student use this? Right? You ask them to compare A versus C or P versus M, like some random thing. It can just compare like that.
If you look at this one, if you look at the soul under, let's see, nature, one says it exists independently of the body, whereas the other one arises from neural processes in the brain.
Right.
Okay, neural processes in the brain sounds a lot like AI, or could be like AI. Outside, independent of the body, now you're talking about,
Because the notion of consciousness is not definable. And it may not have this panpsychic view of consciousness.
That's right. It depends how you're defining consciousness.
How you define consciousness. So that's why if you get to these deep philosophical topics which are debate worthy, then I don't think you can trust a lot of the work it'll do. But let's say, for example, I'd say, how about compare management and leadership, right? That's another one thing people are confused. Compare leadership and management. Right? Those are sort of, sometimes people confuse them, what are the two things?
Still table.
Because I asked compare, and it's doing that comparison overview. Right. So what is this coordination and this influence and versus inspiration versus efficient? So these are fairly well understood things. It is doing fine. Anybody else? Any question? Corinne? Any question you would like to ask? And so this is what you write here is called the prompt. Writing a good prompt is called prompt engineering.
I mean, can you ask about probabilities or things like that as well?
What do you want to ask? Ask a question, just from your heart.
What is the probability that Louisiana will be underwater.
Okay, so that's prediction, or you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask this question, right? These are.
You probably have to give a date, like in such and
Oh,
such
by,
time.
Let's stay with whatever Corinne asked, right? Corinne, that was your hard question, right? Hardful question. What is the probability of Louisiana?
Louisiana,
Louisiana. Is
or
that,
let's see, we could say Louisiana.
how do
I
you
don't
how do you spell it? Louis?
You're right, IANA.
Okay.
It was looking for a capital letter, that's all.
Oh,
Falling.
yeah.
Okay, Louisiana falling going underwater. Yeah, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Is that what you were asking?
Sort of, yeah,
Let's see.
okay.
Okay, so it's saying, well, first of all, I don't have any clue. I'm sort of saying, then it says it's considered vulnerable, blah, 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 to get more accurate, talk to these people anyway, and just survey and all that stuff. So
Okay.
it's kind of punted that question.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily need to know that, but that's what came to my mind.
No, that's fine. So you can ask questions that come to mind, and you might be lucky. It might actually give you an answer that begins to give you a clue at least, right? It might say.
How about the
I
women's,
know. Is that Terry? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. How about the Women's World Cup game?
Oh, yeah.
So
Can it
no,
predict,
yeah, it'll
USA
only-
will play the Netherlands?
The Netherlands this evening. Yeah.
It will only talk of data until September 2021.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Okay, that's they've not released it through the sensitize it to later data. Let's ever ask general questions beyond sort of news. Don't ask news questions, because then you can get
Okay.
other ways also.
Okay,
But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just put a question in chat. Tell me what you think.
what is the question?
What
Oh
is
my
the
goodness.
difference between dialogical and diagnostic OD?
Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
good one.
Okay, now let's see if he understands OD. Okay.
Yeah.
Change. So it is talking organizational development, right?
Yeah. It's pretty
Look
good.
at it. Interesting. The OD could mean 1 million things.
Yeah. I don't know what others think, but I think that's, for that quick, it's pretty good.
And you will find that even if it 1 hour later, it's a pretty good answer.
Yeah. Now, Anil, a question is that I was reading in the New York Times yesterday that a lot depends. I'm a newbie, by the way. My
Yeah.
name's Risa. That a lot depends on the data you ask the AI, in this case ChatGPT, to access. How did you structure that data? Did you give it?
No.
Go ahead.
Forget that. That's a wrong understanding of this. Forget that. You read that article. You
Okay, I'll forget that article.
Yeah. Just say it knows a lot.
Okay.
Okay, it's a genie. Forget what AI New York Times said and what they wrote and what you understood and what you're asking can be modeled. Just
What about,
think
yeah,
of
I was going to
Yeah.
ask, like, what about, what's the value of spirituality or spiritual intelligence in sustainability? Something
yeah.
like.
So role of spiritual intelligence sustainability, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
And do you want some references?
oh,
Or just
sure.
like, yeah. So here, remember already, because I didn't do compare, it may have moved away from the
Right.
tabular format.
Okay.
And I can say just 3 to 5 references. I don't want 20
Mhm.
references, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
with 4 or 5. Okay, let's have references. About 5. How about that? Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want too many. Okay.
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
see.
No, that's good.
So it'll pick the best ones, right? Oh, come on.
They're all
So misunderstood, right? I'm just saying role of this, and it's just so it's basically summarizing the 5. Sometimes that is
Right.
a good one, right? I'm summarizing the top 5,
okay.
or you can write an essay. Either
Well,
way.
I was going to say, I mean, you just keep tweaking until you get what you're looking for.
Ask
Okay.
this way, that way. It's like, you're training your dog. This is a dog. Actually, this is a very 90% close example is dog training. Except this dog is very, very knowledgeable. Any other question? No questions.
This is
ChatGPT is in
helpful.
front of you. Huh?
This is helpful. Thank you.
So you can ask a question. Tell me 5 reasons not to believe in God.
Okay.
What it says.
Here are 5 reasons
My goodness, that's, wow.
not to believe in God. And you don't, because you want reasons, you don't care for academics, right? This is the reasons they get. Because there's no evidence for God, because there's evil existing, alternate explanations for God exist. And religions are not agreeing on that, and religious texts are not so good. So again, beliefs are deeply personal.
So I have like a technical question about the use of it. When I was speaking with somebody about getting a, being able to log in and use it, they said that one had to define a whole lot of stuff. But here, what you're doing is like what I was doing in chat, and I didn't have to define anything either.
Save your breath. Don't go any further. Drop whatever he said. You just log in. It'll give you the window what I showed you up front, and you just start typing here and get the information there.
Then I wonder
It's
what
like-
the person was talking about.
I have no idea whether was it human or not human. I don't know. Just
It
kidding.
was a human person.
Just kidding.
So what I'm interested in, it's really obvious to me that, I mean, with what you're finding and what I did, that it's very good at answering any question whatsoever intelligently, like it just did about belief in God or all of these things. If you asked it about plumbing, it could answer too. But how about it's like, what helps it go deeper than that? Or is it
You ask a deep
mostly
question.
good
What-
at quick overviews?
I mean, you
No,
could ask,
no.
how do you feel or whatever.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
how
know.
do you feel?
It doesn't feel.
No, ask a deep question. I'm asking that it's you or not. You
No,
guys are
no,
not
it's
asking.
not that the question is deep. It's that it doesn't go deeply no matter what question I ask it.
Okay, no, it will go deep. Give me a question that you wanted to go deep in.
Tell me about the role of dakinis in Buddhism.
Okay. Essay. How many words? 500 words, let's say for now, right?
No, 500. Yeah, 500.
500 word essay on
The role of dakinis, Dakinis, in Buddhism.
Okay, so this will be your fire test.
With references.
Okay, let's get it without the
Okay.
fire. You can do that too. Okay.
Yeah, so that's excellent. That's what I expected, that it would do something excellent. But I don't know how to get to the next level of understanding or depth about this or about plumbing. That's what I'm saying.
So if
Continue.
you
Say continue. Let's say if you continue, it'll give you more. Continue. How about that?
Impressive.
and if you just now say that make it a doctoral level essay, it will
Let me
go
stick
deeper.
with Catherine. Catherine, is that helpful? You just continue. I can say continue one more time. See, ultimately, you may need to synthesize for your purpose. It's giving its own way. Yeah. So it doesn't know how much you need. It's giving in 400-500 word packets, 300 word packets, and you can keep going on. And you can ask a different question. You don't have to just say, Rohini, and this one is what.
No, I understand that. Yeah,
You
I'm
can
having
say-
trouble conveying to you what I mean. So if I
Okay.
can, I'll try
Yeah,
later.
So that if you're asking a question of a human being or ChatGPT, is the same thing. You just need to ask a question clearly. That's all. In a few words. In fact, you don't have to. Okay, what are we asking, Shaheen?
I was just saying that if we just tell or give comment to ChatGPT that make it a doctoral level essay.
That's the whole
It will
idea
go
with the
deeper.
academic
Yeah.
references. That's how I think of doctoral essay, because what is doctoral level essay otherwise? The site
Anil.
support everything, right? Make arguments,
Right.
because it's also giving arguments, like 10 cents. So reasons, but we can ask that.
Anil,
Yes.
can we just to go with what Catherine had in mind, can we just ask, go deeper? We want more stuff on this.
This is what I
topic.
did. Continuous deeper. What is
I
new?
see. I see.
I say continue. Before that,
Mhm.
continue. This is the original one. 100, then I get continue. I can do one more continue. Then it'll get farther and farther away from the center of everything.
In other words, it comes down to asking, what did Catherine mean by the term deeper? It was her term, right? Am I?
Yeah, and so whatever you ask, in fact, if you were to just imagine you're asking a assistant, somebody, get me this one, and they will get you. You say, well, let's say, what are the top 10 references on consciousness-based leadership? Okay, top 10. Let me say top 10. That's my favorite topic. References, academic references on any other topic, or I can do my consciousness. I have not asked this question, but
I put a question in chat that's totally different. So when this is done,
okay,
you can take.
let me do that. Let me do that. Okay. Only 5. Where is it? I asked top 10. Let's continue. This is weird because I can tell top 10 references. This is not a good. All right, so this failed a little bit in some sense. What is the question?
It's in chat. You can copy it. It's what are my software options for building a second brain as described by Tiago Forte? It's in chat. You could copy it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So it's kind of totally different.
This is what you're asking?
Yep. Yep. And so question, I could take one of these software options and say, I'm a beginner. Is there one that's highly recommended, or how could you?
I mean, you can ask more questions. I can go deeper into any particular thing. You can ask, you can say, tell me more about TiddlyBiki. I mean, it just go on
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just like, it's a conversational tool. It's a chat,
Okay.
chat tool. It's a chat. You remember the word chat. You're chatting with this model called GPT.
And so I have one more question. So they're talking about using ChatGPT in counseling and coaching. Let's take coaching. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think this is?
No, you're asking me. At this point, don't ask me. Ask ChatGPT. What do you want to ask?
Okay. How would I ask the question? Something about what's the best way to use AI for executive coaching?
Okay, how can AI help with executive coaching? How about that? Is that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. All right. If you want more, I say continue. It's one more.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I like that question.
So you can very, very quickly get into information overload. I think they're built in the format not to overload.
Yeah.
Remember, it's much easier to get a grasp and then go deeper. At least when I teach data analytics, I say, no matter how much data is, find some little bit, find a sandbox, play with it, and then you extend. Otherwise, you have so much, you don't have any grasp, you just lost, you lose interest in the topic altogether. So so this is just I like that it gives small pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Any
it
other
may
questions?
be, Anil, that you're using 4 and I'm using the free thing, but what I keep coming up with, when I say go continue, it says we're still learning and can't help with that. Try another request.
Okay, so just spend $20. Just please trust me, you will save a lot of grief and unnecessary questions. Get a paid version, take it for 1 month. If you don't like it, cancel. Give them $20. It's worth. You will feel.
Oh, so there's no long-term commitment. You don't have to like get a year.
It's a monthly thing. $20 a month. Just sign up. And then you can GPT-4, GPT 3.5, it's very fast. No, none of them say I'm busy, come back 2 hours later. None of that, only 10 questions allowed per hour. None of that stuff.
No, it wasn't saying any of those things. It just said, I
I'm
can't
just saying,
take it
yeah.
further.
but that's what it will happen. So just everybody, please just sign up, pay the $20, try it for a month. Write down 10, 20, you will run out of questions. Problem is you will run out of questions. This fellow has no trouble answering any questions. Most ridiculous, what's the most ridiculous question you can ask?
I think what I'm taking away from this is that it's better to start to figure out what use cases would work well. How would you as a human work with this in an ethical way? Yeah, that's what comes.
Everything. Yeah, just ask them question. Anybody?
I think you should ask, what's the most ridiculous question to ask?
Okay. Oh no. Let me tell you. Tell me a joke.
Tell me a joke.
Tell me a joke about ChatGPT. How about that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a very self-referential and funny question.
It's computer part.
I can't even read the whole thing. Because they couldn't find the right algorithm for love. Weird. It's not very funny, but let's say
Not bad. It's not bad.
not bad. Okay. Tell me a joke about. No. So okay, let's not joke about something. Yeah. Joke of the day. How about that?
Yeah.
Right. Let it decide. Why don't scientists know atoms? Because they make up everything. That I love it.
That's good. That's good.
So it can even entertain. I mean, this is if you remember they're talking about that can do therapy, not therapy. If you really know what to play, hey, make me laugh.
Yeah.
You can do stuff like that.
I think there's a learning curve for using ChatGPT in terms of coming up with good prompts. So
That's only learning curve is not in using the tool, but knowing what to ask.
yes.
Right. And in fact, yeah, that's what it is. Bottom line.
Well, that raises a question, because if you start asking things like, tell me the most important, or anything where we're coming up with a judgment, then whose judgment are we talking about? You need to say something. You have to be more specific, like, tell me the articles that were cited most often in this kind of journal or something, as opposed to like, well, what is the most influential? Because that could be what anybody thinks is influential. But I found it like really interesting. It'll do all kinds of stuff. It'll write, you could say, write this in the way somebody else would write it.
Oh yeah,
Write this, all that kind of, and it does it. It's really interesting.
Okay,
I haven't
right.
used the $20 one. You say it's really worth it to go to the $20 one?
There's only $20 one. There's no other level right now. Compare. Let's say management, right? And leadership, right?
Right.
In Shakespeare format.
Yeah. That's good.
Shakespeare language.
Yeah.
Right? Is that spelling wrong?
I spelled it wrong, but that's okay. That's it.
Look at the whereas and playeth.
Yeah, both play it their role.
Beckons, brave knight. Yeah, the leader. Like.
I put one in. What is the best recipe for vegan cheesecake?
Okay. So I would, instead of like, I mean, you ask the best, it's okay, but sometimes we'll just say, what is the, let's say, okay, look at this. You got it.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Okay.
There goes your grandmama's cookies, recipes.
Let's see.
If you ask them a health question, they'll often come back and say, we don't want to do it.
So
Anytime you ask a health question, like it'll say, we ought to talk to your doctor because we're not, we don't want to make those kind. They come up with hedges.
Just like any other person would do, they have to just be, if they're not doctors, so that's fair. And same thing with legal advice.
Yeah.
They will give you the general principles.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I stop this one?
Mhm.
You all set? All you need to go to chat.
Thank
Yeah. Now
Okay.
okay. So now let me share another tool.
Oh, okay.
And this is a graphic tool. So this is a graphic designing tool. And let's see, where is it? Oh, no. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Make sure that. Okay. So this is a tool which does graphic design. In the previous session, I think Ira was talking about he uses this thing, right? Now let's say you want image of something. What let's say a Buddhist monk by the beach. How about that? Is that okay? I'm just speaking.
Sounds good.
Let's say, oh no. Sorry, I didn't. Okay, there's this format. In this requires a bunch of training. It's got a lot of features, and I only know some. So it says. So the thing is, imagine, right? Imagine a Buddhist monk by the beach.
So what's the name of the it's Midjourney bot? Is that?
It's called Midjourney. It's part of Discord. Discord is the bigger platform within that. This whole thing called Midjourney. So it'll
If you
take.
want to take that on it, what do? You go to Midjourney or do you go to Discord or what?
I think Discord. Just Google how to get to Midjourney. It'll tell you to get Discord license and stuff like that. Anybody? I mean, those who don't have the camera on, I mean, please feel free to ask questions. Doesn't have to be. Okay, so it's just generally defining this pictures of 78% clear. This is what it is. Okay, and I can just
So it's generating it. It's not.
generating. It's not.
Okay.
It's not copying, and it's all variants, right? Looking this side, look. You can actually. Then I can make it variant of this one. Let's say whichever you like, right? Let's say you like this. Right, this one. Which one do you like? Let's say.
The first one probably.
This one? First one?
No, I mean bottom one. Just
This one? This one?
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Third, this one, right? So
Yep,
now you can say, give me variants of this one. So V1, variant of 1, variant of 2, variant of 3. So if I say variant of 3, it'll quickly give me variants of this one. So I like this one, but it's not exactly what I needed. So let's see if it creates the variants, making variations of image number 1 or 3. Did I say what? 3, yeah. So it'll take this kind of a close-up kind of thing with the dark clouds and see what it does.
And is an advantage of this that you don't have to pay, well, I shouldn't say this, but copyright, because it's generating it from something. So if you need a specific graphic, you can use it freely.
Just let's do the tool right now. The theory behind it and legal will come to. The
Okay.
ethics is big. Ethics is very big. We don't want to go into that. But let's say it's taken this image, right? And then created 4 variants in this had all this dark thing, right? Maybe this is dark, smoothed out. There's like a little bit looking wider, fatter, thinner. So like that, you can do this. And whichever you want, either any of these, and you can have all these things. Then you say upgrade, means give it high resolution. So if you want, let's say this one, this is the same one. I think the first one is the same thing. And then these are the 3 variants of this. But let's say I still like the original one, right? So I'll just say this one there. So I'll say upgrade the first one, U1. And you will see a higher quality of this guy, right? No, I said U1. Sorry, I should say
U3.
U3. I'm sorry. So again, you pay $10 a month, they don't bother you anymore, right? It's just sort of they'll do any number of stuff. And there's a limit, but not too little. Okay, this is what it is. So I click on this. Can you see this? Right? And if I see in browser, it's even bigger. It's pretty high resolution, actually. I can save it and I can show you that. You can just do a right click and sort of save image and all the stuff.
The color is really beautiful.
Yeah. Right, so it's fairly high.
So
resolution.
the legality as far as using the image, you can use it, but you have to alter it in the way that it represents you.
For now, just use the tool. Whether you can apply in what situation. I'm not a lawyer and we don't know what it can do. But for now, I just want to show you that you can generate images. Right? Let me say what is MSR and right? What is that? What is our here? Let's imagine. Okay, let's say logo for a new software company. It's very general, right? Let's say e-commerce company, right? Which is kind of weird. Let me, okay, why am I going to company thing? But you can see, you can go to spiritual, you can go to this one. And here also you can see looking like Napoleon. Let's say I will have something like that. While it's doing this, I can even give another one here. It's designing some logos. So it's a fast mode. This is what it is. Now you need to know that this imagine command is there. There's a whole bunch of things about this. It'll take a little bit of training. It took me. Every time I come here, I'm concerned what buttons do I have to press to be able to get to this place. Once I get this window, imagine command, I can do it. But the whole bunch of options here, it's just sometimes too much information is not good, right? So look at it. These are sort of logos. But anyway, they're not so good. What was the thing you were talking about? Napoleon, right? Napoleon in a suit, in a three-piece suit, right?
Yep.
Let's see. I don't know. You can ask whatever. I mean, you can say this and this standing in front. Oh, I can say, okay, no, this I didn't do this. Okay. Okay, let's see. Slash imagine. I keep forgetting, imagine. Okay, now I say Napoleon in a three-suit standing on Sunset Boulevard, right?
Yep.
Let's see what happens. And the prompts can be as long as you want. I mean, not as long as in ChatGPT, but you can pretty much write fairly long. I've seen prompts, it's so precise. I say, how did you know that? Well, they know it because they have tried. It is all being generated in real time because there's no actual picture of Napoleon standing on Sun Boulevard. Right? Probably he never wore a three-piece suit. And it's giving 4 variants of it. Okay, you see that? This is black and white. This is whatever message. This is more Lincolnian. They both are Lincolnian here. This is more close up. This is more flamboyant kind of thing. Okay, what do you think? Which one do you want to expand? So this is too tall. Maybe this is Napoleonish, right? Because used to wearing the red one.
Yep, that looks good.
That looks good. We look a little bit of sort of modern here also. Right, and it's got a Sunset Boulevard thing here.
And are most of these photographs, or can it be a different medium, like oil painting or?
No, this is more the imagine. I'm showing the art functionality in this imagining. There are other functionalities.
Oh,
yeah. I sometimes you can show a picture and say describe this picture. Generate a caption for it. There's a way of merging a couple of pictures also, but I've not tried that. I've just tried very much my functionally. I'm doing this conference. Give me a logo. Okay, another logo, another logo, another logo, another logo, till I'm satisfied. In 30 minutes, usually I'm able to get something that I like.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say, just ask any event that you are attending or wanting to sort of thing that logo or something else.
Vegan cheesecake logo, new vegan cheesecake.
Sure, new vegan. So, okay, vegan cheesecake logo.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as that? Okay.
We'll see.
No, no. So,
Reese this new business.
imagine. Okay, a vegan cheese logo in what color? Pastel colors?
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Pastel colors.
Yeah.
With a topping of cherry?
Yes. Thank you. You've been doing this, I can tell.
Oh, I said make it cherry, vegan cherry. It'll probably figure out it's cherry. So it's waiting start. Depending on traffic, it might take a few moments to do it, but it's pretty quick.
I think they figured it out.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Looks good enough to eat.
Appetizing enough, right? And this looks more like a logo, this more like a tray, this is more, they've made a logo-ish thing. I can even copy the image and put it in the chat. Let's say if it will reach you guys. I don't know if it copy. No, it doesn't allow me to paste image. Okay. Otherwise, but this is the kind of thing you can, and if you want to expand on, let's say like this is the more sort of standard one, right? There's more this thing. So this could go 4 variants with a cherry.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else? Anybody? You're most welcome. Lisa. And anybody else? Any questions? Any kind of image?
I have a question, just, so how would I save it? I mean, what,
Yeah,
do
here it is. For example, which one do you want to say? You want all of them? Because this is not directly usable, right? Because you want, which one do you want?
I want the one with the rainbow. I don't know
This one,
why.
right?
Yeah.
So you're good with this? I'll just upgrade this guy. Okay, it'll just produce a higher resolution one because this is right like okay, this is a big one. I'll just do a right click,
Uh-huh.
copy image or save image.
My gosh.
Cherry cake. Dot. I don't know what I don't know, name it. Whatever. You just name it. Or you just put it in wherever you want to save it and you can zoom out, zoom in, some other thing. This is a very recent thing. I tried it. You can do a little bit subtle variation. Suppose I do subtle variation. What happens? You can make a dramatic change, right? So these are all like, okay, look at this. Now there's subtle changes. They're not so subtle to me. But if you know what you're looking for, some slight changes.
Oh my gosh, I think this could be an addiction of some sort.
Oh, it is addiction. It's like playing video games. Video games.
I don't play games, but I'm saying this is kind of cool.
Okay. Let's say a grandmother with 3 kids. How about that? Mother with 3 kids in Paris by the Eiffel Tower. Some of your grandmothers, I guess, right? Let's see. Oh, see, this is what I still, because I don't use it that often, I forget that the prompt has to be that I'm asking to imagine, right? And then I have to give it a prompt. Grandmother with 3 kids. Is it American grandmother or Japanese grandmother?
Japanese or
Yeah.
American. Yeah, I think Japanese would be
The
good.
interesting thing is, what is American?
That's
How
what-
could they say this is an American? We are everything.
Yeah, we are everything. So let's go Japanese. So again, you can go as detailed as you want and say, buy this, wearing a yellow frock or holding fingers or whatever. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at the 4th one. Already I'm liking it. This one here. It's not taking that long, right? Less than a minute.
It's amazing.
Right. So if you're producing as a chart on sort of, something I did on Sufism, I can show you some charts. Look at this. And you can pick which one you want. Look at this. What do you think of these? There's only 2 kids, right? So they misunderstood, whatever, right? Maybe 3rd graders. How about this guy? I like
That's
this.
amazing. The 4th one.
4th one, right?
Yes.
I like this one immediately because it's got like nice thing and clear sky and none of the bullshit. Okay, let's go. Let's blow it up. U4S, yeah, upgrade. The upgrading does in a moment. It's just look at this. And if I look at this in a big form, isn't it very sharp?
Lovely.
It's like very real picture.
Pretty real, right? This
Right.
could be Miss Hashimoto and whatever. Yes.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
So glad you're
What I do is
exposing me
sometimes
to
when
this. Yeah.
I could, and I'll show you some of the pictures I created. Some of them I killed also, but let's say this is a picture I created for tomorrow's session. I'm doing on Sufism. I just created this. So it looks almost like Rumi, right? There's another one, sort of a Sufi leader talking to people. What would a Sufi leader talk to people? And there's some others which I think unfortunately killed, but this is there's a Buddhist guru. This is, I mean, this could
Are
be.
you sharing? I don't think I can't see it. Sorry.
Oh, you can't see it because I'm sharing. Okay, I have to, sorry, I have to share a different window. Okay, now you see that, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Wow.
that's wonderful.
It's so realistic. This looks like
Yeah.
Rumi.
Beautiful,
I have no
beautiful.
clue how Rumi looked like this, but this looks pretty good. Looks like a wise guy,
Beautiful.
right? This is, and you can create as all day long, all night long, $10 a month, nothing.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's what I was talking in the creativity session. You can create your images, right? And in fact, now the other tools which will produce movies, 2-minute movies, 3-minute movies, say, create a movie of me and my wife going and put in pictures. After a while, it will might remember the context that who is me and who is my wife, and then just play with those images and whatever.
So, how do we find the apps that would be a good starting point?
So this is that is called Midjourney. So you got to
Yes.
go Discord. Just Google. You know how to use it now. In a sense,
Yeah.
right? Very simple. Just I use one command only. Imagine. There are other
Yeah.
commands there also, but once you get into Midjourney, and you just say it's /imagine, whatever your prompt is, you get images. You can upgrade it. You can do variants of it. Actual process of signing up Discord is not something I want to get into this because it just gets too complicated. You can Google it, step-by-step process. It's much easier to sign up for ChatGPT.
Okay, gotcha.
ChatGPT is absolutely zero trouble.
I could
Okay.
ask ChatGPT which apps I should use.
You can, yeah, but this is the simple one. There are other ones there. Don't go for the free thing because free thing will have unnecessary hassle. When you're learning a big new technology like this, you're getting like a jet engine. You don't care about saving $10, $20.
Yeah.
Okay, just feel free that the full functionality is available to you. That's what I feel.
Thank you.
$10 for this, $20 for this. You are set in business. You can just do your own NFTs and So was this helpful?
It was great.
Thank you. Very helpful.
Okay. So I'll stop recording and then I'll have the recording available to you.